I'm definitely finding out how to choose my motherfucking battles. You know, that's a saying that the you know the ancestors and shit, you know, used to say, you know, choose your battles. That shit, that's a line that came up through our lifetime, through our current lifetime. You know, our grandmothers used to say, uncles and shit like that. It was like a wise word, that choose your battles. And I'm definitely learning how to choose my battles, because let me tell y'all something, right? I done motherfucking filed child support 3 fucking times since the breakup, and I'm having a motherfucking problem with it. Now, let me tell you how this came into play about choosing your motherfucking battles. Now, I didn't go to fucking child support because I'm a bitter bitch and I'm trying to get something out, because I don't give a fuck if the motherfucking nigga got money or not. I didn't go to motherfucking child support because the nigga don't want to motherfucking be with me, and so I'm trying to make him pay another way. Fuck that. That's not the motherfucking point. We got a motherfucking 14-year-old kid together, and you been motherfucking locked up since the nigga was in a motherfucking womb. Everything that was done for that little baby in any type of way, shape, form, or fashion, it was motherfucking done through me. Alright, I'm a parent wholeheartedly. That's a part of the title of who I am. I could take full responsibility for my kid. The issue is, nigga, you come home, you get the fuck on your feet, you're rocking all of this motherfucking expensive ass shit, but you're not giving this young boy any allowance. Now, when the nigga left and we were in touch, when I was trying to co-parent, we wasn't successful in motherfucking co-parenting, because the nigga told me straight up and down that he couldn't motherfucking co-parent if he wasn't in the same house, and I was not willing to motherfucking allow him back into. I wasn't fucking doing that. But when he first motherfucking left, I was trying to co-parent with the nigga and told the nigga straight up and down, listen, you still have an obligation to this young one in here, okay? So this is what you can do. Every time you get paid, send this boy $50. I'm doing everything motherfucking else, making sure everything else is taken care of. The least you can do is keep a little pocket change in his pocket and make sure, you know, he all right with that. That nigga ain't do no such motherfucking thing. And mind you, if you follow me or if you in my group, you know that this is after fucking graduation. So let me rewind back. The little one was graduating from junior high school, going into high school. So he had moving up ceremony, and he had prom. I had to call this nigga and be on him, and I'm talking about this raggedy ass baby daddy. I had to call this nigga and be on him about that. Listen, you need to help me help this boy get ready for prom and shit like that. It is your responsibility as a man and as his motherfucking father. Okay, I don't know if that shit played, you know, on his conscience or whatever, or on his ego, on his mind, but he assisted with that. This was in June of 2022. Alright? Ain't did shit for the nigga birthday, which is in May, but okay, whatever. You know, and I'm talking about the little one. You know, he ain't do nothing for the little one birthday, which was in May. Alright, cool. So fast forward now, after June and after the moving up and the celebration factor was taking place, I said, listen, you still have an obligation to him. And if you're not going to be, you know, around in his personal space, you still at least, when you get paid, send him $50 every 2 weeks. That's $100 a month. This is me still trying to be logical and think compassionate for the nigga, because we're not together. I don't know what your financial status is, so I'm not trying to jump out the window and get fucking crazy on you. But because he is still your responsibility, the least you could do is make sure he got $100 a month, $50 every 2 weeks when you get paid, to make sure he got some pocket money, to make sure that when he want to do little stuff with his friends and all of that type of thing, he at the very least could do that. Hell yeah, off the strength of you. My baby, not only do he not get allowance, but his response to that $50 every 2 weeks or $100 a month, whatever which way you want to put it, was, don't even talk to me about allowance. Allowance is not my thing. That's your thing. You wanted to do that. That's something that you made up. So that's something that you handled. That was his motherfucking response. I was pissed off about that shit. Know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, you out here motherfucking doing whatever the fuck you doing, but your son is still not a priority. Not even so much as, because we all know as adults, $100 a month ain't no motherfucking money. You also know that $100 a month ain't even no money to a motherfucking teenager nowadays living in the USA, living in the motherfucking 5 boroughs. That's still not no motherfucking money. But I know that I'm gonna come in clutch as a mother, like I always motherfucking do, and make sure that my kid got what he need to at least be okay. So I'm gonna do that. But what I do for him and what you're supposed to do for him is 2 motherfucking different things. And one has nothing to do with the fucking other. But it's fucked up that I have to remind him or tell him in any type of way to, listen, you was a young black teenager at one time too who didn't have the luxury of being able to have an allowance. I get that. But nigga, now you're in a different position because he was working. I don't know what the fuck his shit is now, but at the time that I was trying to co-parent and let him know, at least give the boy allowance money, he was working. Okay? He was working. So, you know, I got pissed off at that. I went to fucking child support, you know. Didn't have no luck with it. And I don't know if it's because of the state deal with it different than the city. I don't know if maybe like I was supposed to keep pushing and pursuing or whatever because I filed. All right. Then once I seen that, you know, I waited 2 months. I didn't hear anything back or whatever. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So now I went online and I filed again. Still, I'm like, you know, what the fuck? Because now we in motherfucking December. It's a whole fucking 6 months later. I'm like, I'm not hearing nothing from these people. What the fuck is going on? And because I've never filed before, I'm not actually sure about how it works, right? But in the midst of my frustration and trying to get some financial assistance for my little one from his father, because he don't do a motherfucking thing for this boy, okay? A motherfucking thing, right? Here's what I discovered about motherfucking choosing your battles. Nigga, I feel like I really need to fucking say this, because these lives or, you know, these messages I get, that shit go out a fucking broad. It go to different people. And although I don't give a fuck what people think, I still want to clarify so that you can fucking understand that just because God has put me in a position to be victorious doesn't fucking mean that I have to take on a bulk of the responsibility of raising the child completely on my own without the assistance of the other parent. Just because I am capable of taking care of the child on my own, which is what I have been doing, does not mean that I should have to. nigga ain't did shit. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. They got the type of family where it's big enough to where as though they have celebrations quite often. So they'll celebrate Thanksgiving, they'll celebrate 4th of July, they'll celebrate shit like that, birthdays and shit like that. And I'm gonna tell you something else, that my baby ain't never get a motherfucking invitation since that nigga been gone to go to any motherfucking family function or event. Let me tell you something. When he was away, his mom would reach out periodically and be like, I'm having this and I'm having that. And I would pack my children up and take them to celebrate with whom I thought was motherfucking family. Since that nigga been gone, I ain't get a motherfucking phone call from no motherfucking body to celebrate nothing. And I'm not saying for me. I'm talking about for my motherfucking son, the young one. Nobody has motherfucking called me to say, you know what? We doing this for Thanksgiving. See if it's a way that he could come and eat with us. He ain't motherfucking get that invitation. Not from nobody on that side of the family, and damn sure not from his motherfucking father. So all of reality and all of realization is coming to me like this. Choose your battle, sis. You going through the law to get some financial assistance for this little one. And in the process of all of that, since the nigga left, you see that there has been no extended invitations to any family functions from that side of the family. Choose your battle, sis. Because you know what? When I was giving my motherfucking best and I was doing my best to make sure that nigga stayed afloat in them motherfucking 13 motherfucking years, and even after, when I provided a motherfucking home for that nigga, I provided a motherfucking address for that nigga to be motherfucking paroled to, because if he didn't have a solidified address, then he could not be motherfucking paroled at a time where the motherfucking family members was not giving up that motherfucking information for the nigga to be paroled to them. All right, because those of y'all who deal with the law, y'all understand how this shit go. Them niggas cannot be paroled to just any address, especially depending on the crime that was committed. And them niggas cannot be paroled or will not be paroled to someone that, they just can't be paroled anywhere. And when it get down to the wire, when their time is finished and they're eligible for parole, if a shelter bed is open and available, then they can go to a shelter or they can go to a halfway house. But that is on the conditions of their parole. That's if they're eligible for parole. Sometimes the crime alone won't even allow them to be eligible for parole. You understand? Once parole comes around and they're eligible for parole, they have to have a solidified address to be able to go to. Sometimes that can be a shelter or a halfway house. Depends on the conditions of parole once again. So anyway, we're going back to that, and I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? His motherfucking, how can I say this? His presence, right? Because I always kept his presence relevant in our motherfucking household. You know what I'm saying? I always kept it relevant because let me tell you something. The motherfucker got locked up when my oldest was 13 and I was pregnant with the youngest. He did a motherfucking 13-year bid. By the time he motherfucking came home, the youngest that was in the womb was 13 years old, and the motherfucking oldest was already well in his motherfucking 20s. But I kept that nigga presence relevant in my motherfucking household. Them niggas didn't really know him like I knew him. But I kept pictures up. I kept pictures around. I always motherfucking told them stories. We always share motherfucking stories with family members so that his presence could stay relevant in my motherfucking household so that he can understand that, listen here, my nigga, you've been going for a real long motherfucking time. So even though they don't know you per se, because you've been gone a while, they understand who you are. They understand the importance of who you are in this motherfucking household and who you are to me. You understand what I'm saying? They know who the fuck you are. They may not know, but they know. You feel what I'm saying? All that the fucking say is that all of that shit I did, turns out it didn't go in vain spiritually, because the universe always protected me. But in choosing my battle on this physical plane here, let me tell you how that's relevant. Because I've been sleeping with the enemy the whole motherfucking time and didn't know. Because I was going off of how I was operating from my heart. I wasn't paying attention to what the nigga was showing me the whole motherfucking time. I didn't even realize the fucking relationship was one-sided because I was so full of love within myself. And then it got to the point, not to the point, but, I'm a parent and I'm so full of love for my children that he was showing me something different the whole fucking time. I couldn't even fucking see it. Call it being a fool if you want. You could say that. You know what I'm saying? You could say that. You could say, everybody plays the fool sometimes. There's no exceptions to the rules. Listen, baby. So, it could be playing a fool. But in my mind's eye, in my heart's eye, it was because I was so full that I was like, wherever he lacking, I got that. Because that's how much confidence I had in me. And how much I still have in me. Not fully realizing that the whole shit was lump-sided. And when he came home and he showed me who the fuck he really was, my eyes was opened. My mind's eye, my heart's eye was open like, oh shit, I'm sleeping with the enemy the whole motherfucking time. So there was areas in my life that started suffering. The universe is showing me like, baby, listen, it's time for you to wake up. My health had begun suffering. Oh, let's get this word in on this Sunday. My health had begun motherfucking suffering. My motherfucking mental state had begun deteriorating. Because I was so stressed mentally and emotionally. It had started affecting my motherfucking spirituality because I'm being shown. But my motherfucking heart is breaking in the process because I'm trying to convince my intuition that this ain't what the fuck it is. Whatever it is that you seeing, that ain't what it is. You don't want to face that motherfucking hurt, that disappointment. You don't even want to acknowledge that the sincerity that you've been pouring out of yourself, the real love you've been pouring out of yourself. You don't even want to fucking acknowledge that it feels as if it was going in fucking vain. You don't even want to think that because I was so real with this motherfucking person that this person been using that, manipulating that, taking your love for granted and your kindness and your purity for weakness. You don't even want to accept that shit. You don't even want to fucking acknowledge it because you saying to yourself, yo, I'm the shit that motherfucking niggas in the hood been saying they wanted all they fucking life. And y'all familiar with this shit. Niggas been saying, I want a real bitch. I want a down bitch. I want, this type of bitch that's going to be there for me no matter what. Do this. So when you are that woman, when you are that type of motherfucking person, for a nigga to turn around and fucking diss you so motherfucking hard, there's a part of you that's confused by that because you're not willing to accept it. The confusion came in because I refused to accept that the person that I was loving and pouring into so much ain't give a fuck about me. Choose your battle, sis. choose your motherfucking battles. And every time I say that, this is the shit that's going on for my motherfucking head. Hell yeah, that shit was affecting me motherfucking physically. Let me tell you why. The stress was coming down so motherfucking hard on me. I was going to the motherfucking doctor every 2 to 3 weeks because there was things going on my body and in my body that was showing motherfucking face, and I couldn't understand what the fuck was going on. What's going on? I was at the doctor so motherfucking much that the doctor sat me down and had a conversation with me. Hold on, I'm about to, because you know what? Today is Revelation Sunday. Let's do that. Today is Revelation Sunday, and it's a lot of shit that I be choosing not to discuss because, you know, I think it's a lot of shit that's personal. But I also have days that contradicts that feeling because it's shit like that I want to get the fuck off my chest, and holding it in is not how I heal. I can't heal that fucking way. I gotta release this motherfucking shit. And sometimes I release it by journaling, and sometimes I release it through these motherfucking videos, but I gotta fucking release it. So the motherfucking doctor sat me down and said, Miss Briggs, I'm going to be as professional as possible with you, but I want to, I'm trying to remember verbatim how she said this because this was well over a year ago. Well over, 2 years right now. She said, I'm going to be professional with you, but what I'm about to tell you, I don't want you to take offense to it, but I want you to understand what I am trying to say to you. I want you to keep an open mind what I'm about to say. I have did your physical. I have did your blood work. Because I've done your complete physical and I've done your blood work, now you're about to pay out of pocket for some additional blood work to be done. And Ms. Briggs, that's unnecessary because I've done all your blood work and it came back fine. And here's what I can say to you that I know for sure. Sometimes when you are under severe stress, you think in your mind that you're able to handle it, but you're not handling it. And it shows up in different ways. It could show up as something not right within your mind or within your body. Now, given these tests, and all the tests came back fine, I know now that whatever it is that's showing up is stress related. And so I need for you to find a way to manage this stress. So this is some of the ways that you can do that. You can work out and go to the gym. And you can seek a therapist. Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that what's going on with your body is made up. It's not made up. Because, I see it. And I can give you, a prescription, that will cosmetically correct what's going on. But it is nothing internal. And as long as you remain under this level of stress, there will always be temporary fixes. You have got to manage your stress better. Stress that this motherfucker was causing me because I was so confused and not being able to fully understand how you can fucking mistreat and disrespect somebody that been solid with you from the motherfucking gate. Somebody that been down with you, ride with you, Somebody that has always proved to you time and time again. And remember, proving, right, wasn't because I felt like I had something to prove to anyone. Proving is because at the time, I felt like that's the way love operates. You know, I was young, but that's the way love operates. It's not really about proving per se, but it's like, yo, you're going to be there with this person no matter what, because that's what love is. Not even fucking realizing the whole motherfucking time that nigga wasn't fucking with me the way I was fucking with him. Choose your battle, sis. All that to say this. Now, I'm not even no motherfucking longer. I'm not even motherfucking going to child support, fucking with child support. No. I'm not doing it. Because you know why I'm not doing it? Because that nigga is a bad motherfucking omen. That nigga's a bad fucking omen. And anything attached to that nigga is bad motherfucking omen. You know what I'm saying? And God has put me in a position, the universe has put me in a position, my spiritual parents have put me in a position to always make sure that my motherfucking family is good. To always make sure that they don't motherfucking go without. And I'm no longer trying to force that nigga to take responsibility for what the fuck he know he should be taking responsibility for. Especially when he was absent the whole motherfucking time. I'm no longer forcing that shit. And him being a fucking bad omen in a negative space, you know what the fuck that mean? All money ain't good money. Whatever motherfucking karma that nigga is gonna fucking suffer because he not only didn't do the right fucking thing, not only because he's a foul ass motherfucking nigga, but because of all of the fucked up decisions that he's made, that he has to a karmic debt to pay to. See, that's third time's the charm. All three of those reasons I told you right there means to me that I don't want my motherfucking son being attached or suffering any of that motherfucking karmic debt just because he's affiliated with the person that or was affiliated with the person that caused all that bullshit to begin with. Nah. All money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? And if you a foul ass nigga, and if you're not taking care of your responsibility with good intent and a pure heart, just because that's my motherfucking kid and I want to make sure he good no matter what, just because, I've been 14 years old fucked up with no money before. I'm not going to allow, that's a generational curse that I'm not going to allow my son to go through regardless of, but you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the fuck. Because it's just the right motherfucking thing to do. If that nigga don't got the wherewithal to do it on his motherfucking own, I'm not trying to make that nigga do shit. Because any motherfucking thing that's attached to that nigga is gonna have to have the affiliation of the karmic debt to be repaid. Let me see if I could break that down again. Let me say that. Because that nigga don't have a good heart. Because he's a low vibe. Because he's a foul ass nigga. There's no motherfucking blessing or prosperity that's gonna come from that, because everything that he do, the plot twist is selfishness. It's I don't give a fuck about the consequences. It's all about me, fuck anybody else, because that's what it is at the core of it. It's a low vibe. It's actually a demonic state. Now, when you get back into, the spirituality of things, when you get back into even a motherfucking good book, even Even let's say Christianity, you know, and I'm going with that because I was raised Baptist and I'm not sure about in too much any other religions, you know what I'm saying? But I know about spirituality and I know about Christianity. So let's get to the Christianity in a good book. Why was Satan even cast out of heaven to begin with? You know what I'm saying? So when we get there, I want to directly correlate that to the actions of this nigga showing up as his real motherfucking self. That them phone calls and them fucking letters and all that shit he used to send me, he could hide a lot of shit about himself during them motherfucking times because we wasn't so, you know, interpersonal. But now that I can see who the fuck he is for real, all of that shit that he doing and all of that shit that he's about, that shit is demonic. It's a low vibe. You know what I'm saying? When you could do shit and not give a fuck about nobody else, no matter who they are to you. When you could go out there and live your fucking life like you ain't got no other fucking responsibilities but yourself. And not give a fuck about the mental or emotional effect that can cause on people that otherwise will be attached to you. That's a low fucking vibe. And I'm going to tell you something. Anybody that is affiliated or associated with that nigga and fucks with that nigga like that, you know what I'm saying? And in that way is going to also be attached to the karma that comes back to his ass. And therefore, I remove my son from that equation. So fuck that motherfucking child support. They could keep that shit. He could keep that shit because I'm always going to be able to take care of my motherfucking kids. I don't give a fuck what the fuck I got to do. I'm always going to make sure them niggas is good. I'm not no fast, fucked up ass, raggedy ass mama. Know what I'm saying? I'm a great mom. I'm a great fucking mom. If it's one of the fucking things that I know for a fact I've done right in my life is motherhood. That's a whole motherfucking fact. I'm a great motherfucking mom. And so I ain't been needing that nigga because that's another thing that his absence taught me. I put that nigga on a pedestal, and not because he even deserved the shit, but it was because I put myself on a pedestal and I felt like we were equal. My love is high. My love is high vibrational. I love you, nigga. You up. If I'm up, you up. We was down together long enough. We was down. Now I'm up and I'm coming up and you gonna be up too, regardless of the fact. But fuck that child. They could keep that shit. I don't want my motherfucking son having no type of a fucking attachments to nothing that's sour, nothing that's fucked up, nothing that's demonic, nothing that's low vibing, and definitely nothing that's gonna suffer the consequences of karma that they put out into the fucking universe. See, when you put that fucked up, whatever energy you put out in the motherfucking world, that's the energy you getting back. The shit that you put out into the fucking universe, that's the shit that you get back. And there's no motherfucking way. Even, here's where people get fucked up. Even with you repenting, even with you being God's child, the debt of karma that you set up on your own motherfucking self have nothing to do with you being God's child. Because guess what? This what God say. You my child and I love you. And you repented and that's good. You trying to get a fresh start. So what I could do is I could spare your life. But I can't spare you these lashes. Oh, you gonna get these lashes. You gotta get them. Because there's lessons in that motherfucking shit. And so when you don't learn your lesson, you begin a karmic cycle. That's generational curses. You know what I'm saying? So you could keep that shit going. So your motherfucker, his, you know what I'm saying? He could keep that shit going, but I'm breaking motherfucking generational curses. And so that means that you keep your motherfucking raggedy ass child support. You keep that shit, nigga. You can keep that shit. All the motherfucking low vibes and toxic ass energy and foul ass, deplorable, self conditions that you have and you implemented on yourself, and them fucked up ass ways of living that you think is the shit, you think that makes you that nigga, you keep all that shit, nigga. You can keep it. You can keep it. Because it is my morals and principles and standards that not only kept your name relevant in my motherfucking household, but that raised two motherfucking fabulous ass motherfucking kids without your ass. And guess what? They so wonderfully made. You feel what I'm saying? They so wonderfully made. They so lovable and strong, and they souls is beautiful. And I'm not just fucking saying that because I'm their mom. I'm talking about knowing them, learning them as individual people. Not just as a mom, as individual people. That motherfucker never for once even said, whether we was together or not, never for once even said, yo, you know what? You know what, T? At least I ain't never have to worry about the nigga. And I don't need his fucking validation, or it's not about that. It's about what's in your heart, the parent shit that's in your heart. Because even though I don't get along with the motherfucking first baby mother, that bitch is ugly straight up and down. That bitch is not a nice looking girl, but you know, I realized that, you know, when your soul is ugly, that shit show up on the outside too. But I even told him, I said, you know what, not for nothing, and this is when we going through our fucking argument, because I realized at this time I don't feel appreciated. I said, you know what, I could say one motherfucking thing and I don't even fuck with the bitch, but between, you know, your first baby mama taking care of your daughter and me taking care of these boys, all in your absence, did you ever stop to fucking think that at least what you doing your motherfucking bed, you ain't have to worry about the well-being of your kids in no type of way? You ain't have to worry about them being homeless. When you was younger, you used to fucking run away because that's how you dealt, you know, with whatever was going on in your household. You never had to worry about that with your kids. You never had to worry about your motherfucking kids not eating. You never had to fucking worry about your kids being in any type of conditions that would make them be less than or feel fucked up. Your fucking kids had the mental and physical stability, and that was one thing that you did not have to fucking worry about. Even if you worried about how you was going to get through the bed, you didn't have to, that didn't have to pile up on you what was going on in the outside with your kids, because you know your kids was taken care of no matter what. You didn't fucking think about, when I tell you selfish, baby, when I tell you fucked up, foul ass nigga, baby. And so, let me help you. I stopped the fuck that. I'm not pressing on nothing with that fucking child support, because I'm choosing my battles. And if that means that that's a part of the detachment as a whole, in order for me to save my son from any type of karmic debt by association. Because remember, let me tell you something else about karma, and I know y'all know this, but maybe you forgot. A lot of times, not all the time, listen to what I'm about to tell you. Listen. Karma does not always come back the same way it was given. Karma will come back to you, to people that's affiliated with you sometimes. People that's associated with you. Wonder why, let's just say, you wonder why your daughter a certain way. Just saying. You wonder why you can't have, you know, someone in your family that he may love so much or respect so much or care for so much. You know, you wonder why they sick. You wonder why you have family members dying at an alarming rate. You wonder why marriage isn't a curse that has been broken in your family. You may wonder why. You understand what I'm saying? You wonder why certain things is going on in your family, in your bloodline lineage. You wonder why this shit is going on. And I'm going to tell you why. Because karma does not always come back the same way it was dished out. You feel what I'm saying? And remember that a lot of this shit was written, baby. Our lives is motherfucking written. And so all of this shit playing out now is a prophecy. But the Creator gives us the chance to change our destiny through free will. You have the opportunity to change the dynamics of your bloodline through free will. The will to break generational motherfucking curse. You have the option to do that. You have the option for testimony, to change the outcome. The Creator gives us that, to pass these tests and create a testimony. And it is the divinity that is in us that directly connects to God. Though He gave His only begotten Son, His Son was sacrificed so that we may have life. And so there was born free will for you to be able to change and break those motherfucking generational curses. Do you fucking hear me? And so when you choose to stay in a karmic cycle because of your fucking ego, because of your fucking pride, because of your fucking ignorance, because of your fucking, selfishness, because baby, you are motherfucking being played by the strings of the opposition. You are the fucking opposition because the motherfucking the devil done got in your motherfucking ear through people that you choose to hold in a higher regard than what has been shown to you. This is called false praising of false idols. Okay? So motherfuckers ain't showed you nothing. Motherfuckers ain't been there for you. Motherfuckers don't really fuck with you, and they have shown you that. But you worship them. And you worship them because you need constant validation from these same motherfucking people that ain't never showed you nothing. You can't connect from the God within. As they say in spirituality, as above, so is below. So you can't connect with the God that's within because there's a fucking disconnect. And the disconnect is the worshiping of false idols, because everybody that's outside of you, that ain't shown you shit, that ain't fucking been there for you, those are the same fucking people that you need outside validation. You need them motherfuckers to constantly validate you, to make you feel good as a person or as a man. You need validation from motherfuckers that ain't did a motherfucking thing for you to make you feel good about the bullshit that you want. Because, you don't want a low vibe. You don't want nobody to see you low vibe. Let me say it that way. You don't want you don't want to do the work to become a better person. You just want the fucking recognition. You don't want to fucking do the next, because you know what? You were supposed to been put that motherfucking work in, nigga. You had motherfucking 13 motherfucking years of incarceration. You was been supposed to put that work in and put yourself in an elevated motherfucking state. But you ain't fucking do that. But you want to pretend that you've done that. And so the people who care for you and, you know, they look at you and assume that you did the necessary work, and so they are validating you. And you're using that you're manipulating that validation, and you're using that validation to continue to pretend to be something that you're not. Because you refuse to get down and do the nitty gritty and do the real fucking work to be a better motherfucking person, and to take the responsibility of your sons, your daughter, your family. You ain't doing none of that motherfucking shit. And so all of that fucking negative energy that you put out there and not fucking doing what you're supposed to do, on top of doing fucked up and foul shit to people, all that motherfucking karma is coming back and going to come back. And so I do not want my son affiliated with none of that shit in no type of fucking way. Because I'm breaking generational curses over here. I'm not keeping that karmic cycle motherfucking going. That's what I'm not doing. You keep that shit going. And so even if that means that for whatever reason that child support ain't go through, you know, because again, now I'm looking at it from a spiritual point, and I'm like, okay, the universe is still protecting me. I was in my frustration. I was in my humanity for a minute. Like, nah, this nigga gotta do what the fuck he gotta do for this little one. I don't give a fuck. That nigga ain't never, he gotta do. Nah, it's only right. It's only right. It is only right, but you can't force motherfuckers to do what's right if right ain't in them. You feel what I'm saying? You cannot force niggas to do what's right if right ain't fucking in them. So right ain't in you. You know what I'm saying? So everything wrong that you operate out of, because there's no divinity within. So you became the ops. And the ops, all that shit about to spin for your ass, if it ain't spent already on you. And I don't want my son affiliated with that shit in no type of way. In no type of way. Because I worked hard like a motherfucker. Prayed hard like a motherfucker for my children to be able to have the best motherfucking outcome possible, and so they won't become a victim of their motherfucking circumstances. And I prayed, and I motherfucking prayed, and God putting me in a position to be able to balance my masculine and feminine motherfucking energies, to be able to raise two boys, two successful boys, in a society and in a government that constantly tried to put in our head that it is not possible. It is not possible to be a successful single parent. It is not possible to raise children to be beautiful, black, highly respectable human beings, fully functioning, well-rounded adult, and one on the way, because one is 14. Society and even the government keep saying that's not possible because you're a nigger, because we already put you in a statistical range, you know, so you can never supersede that. But my prayers have been answered, and I did motherfucking supersede that. I did, without the help of that nigga. Okay? So they could keep that motherfucking child support. I don't even want it. It's not only that I didn't need it, and that the little one didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? He really didn't. But deep down inside, as a parent, I'm reaching out to the other parent, and that was my way of saying, like, damn, show this little nigga that you cared some type of way. That you care enough to say, well, you know what? My presence is not there. And money don't buy everything. It don't. But I was trying to make logic out of out of negativity. I was trying to put the silver lining on the fucking cloud. Like, damn, okay, I'm not there as a presence in your life right now. Cause whatever I'm doing. I'm thinking from the Father standpoint. I'm not there as a presence in your life right now because I'm out here doing what I'm doing. But at least if I send you a couple dollars, at least I know that you would know or understand that I want you to be all right. Take this little couple of dollars, do your little 1-2 with it. I care enough to say, let me put this couple of dollars in his pocket and make sure he good. Because I've been where he at. Nah. And it's all good. Now, it's all good because I have a higher understanding of choosing my motherfucking battles. Choosing my battles. All money ain't good money. It ain't. And now that I have this, I'm sharing it with you. Now that I have this higher level of understanding, I'm sharing it with you. Because I need for y'all to understand that even though we operate in our humanity and we're doing not just the best that we could, but logically and in our mind, we trying to make sense out of things, and we trying to get things to operate a certain way because we feel like that way is in our best interest. You also must understand that sometimes you got to get out of your own way. You got to choose your battles. You got to know which one to fight. And I'm saying that because when I say get out of your own way, I mean this. I mean you still praying. You praying for the best outcome. Because you don't want the people that you love to suffer. You praying for the best outcome. So while you praying and you logically thinking one way, the universe is operating off of the prayers that you have requested. The meditation that you have been doing. The universe is operating out of that. And so, baby, I need for you to understand. I swear to God, you can't make this up. Confirmation. Look. Triple eights. Nope, 4 8s. 4 8s. Somebody license plate 4 8s. You can't. Confirmation. I'm just saying that the universe is working on those prayers, and sometimes those prayers, when they answer, they always don't coincide on how we're living on a physical plane. But you need to understand through your discernment how that operates, when it operates. So that motherfucking child support not going through, it's all right. It ain't gotta go through. It ain't gotta go through. Because I realize now that it's my prayers that went through. It's my prayers that went through. That's what went through. That detachment have to come from all angles. It can't be one way. It can't be that I just detach my heart. It can't be that. It's more than one motherfucking way of detachment. And you got to sever all motherfucking ties so that there will be no fucking suffering the consequences through your parents. What was the meaning? Damn, it was a saying. It was a quote from the Good Book. The child suffers from the... Damn, which I can't remember right now. But in short, the children can suffer from the choices of the parent. Can't remember the scripture, but I'ma find it. But baby, cut all that shit. So that money ain't even gotta go through. You in it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. This, that, splat. You feel me? This, that, splat. And we gonna be good, and we always gonna be good. And I'm so thankful to God. Baby. So that was a motherfucking lesson for me. You feel me? And I'm sharing that with you. Okay? Because I just want you, first of all, y'all tune into this channel, and I appreciate that. And second of all, Sometimes you can learn your lessons through other people. Lord,